right. So you guys get back to the inn, kind of spend the day the next day, and you're kind of sitting there waiting for dinner, and you see a beautiful woman kind of walk in, who is elven, and kind of wears a sort of a, oh, what's it called? Not a traveler's outfit, but kind of looks like a traveler's outfit. And she has another gentleman that's with her, actually. And the other guy kind of has some flamboyant clothes and sort of looks like a little out of place, almost like kind of trying to scream money, and probably has money, but not a lot of money. And you see both of them sort of walk in here. Let me see, I got pictures for you. So this is the female.
He wants me.
Not in the facial piercings.
No
Hey,
facial
these are both
piercing?
named Eva Wilderman.
Yeah.
They're both the same person. You can see their names right on their armor.
That's right. And so she kind of walks in, and Tarquin kind of throws up his arms and gives her a huge hug. And you hear him say, you kind of hear him talking, and she's like, Celeste, it's so great to have you back. And Ecom, it's nice to see you. And kind of shakes his hand, and he says, are you guys going to be performing tonight? Oh, we'd love to have you perform. And kind of gets general conversation and whatnot. And then she kind of asks about, Elagos, his friends, and he kind of, oh yes, he kind of brings you over, and he sort of grandiosely stands up and he says, this is Celeste, the bard from many lands with many songs. And she kind of blushes a little bit, and she says, and this is her close friend Ecom Smallcast. He also is a bard. However, he is a very, very important merchant from way down in Am, and he doesn't look like he really is from Am, but that's kind of where he says that he's from. And they both are very cordial and kind of nod and shake your hands and kind of sit down and order food for you guys, which is a really nice dinner, the best that Tarquin has. So she kind of sits down, and she kind of tells you guys, she says, hello, I'm Cest. I understand, talking with Elagos, that you guys were seeking a sponsor to enter the games. Is that correct?
Yes.
She says, excellent. I don't want to know the details. Elagos and I try to keep details to a minimum, so I don't know why you want to be in the games, but she kind of looks around. She says, looks like a pretty good group to be in the games, that's for sure. She says, I love the games. I can't wait to see you guys fight. She says, unfortunately, though, you can't get in without having a licensed managers, and these licenses are very difficult to come by. But fortunately, my buddy, Akelum, just happens to possess such a license, and he has no gladiators to fight for him.
Were you really willing to sell the license?
Eklum kind of looks over to you guys and nods. He says, boy, you guys look like a great team. He says, unfortunately, though, I had to pay a lot of money for this license, and he says, I'm not quite comfortable giving it up. He says, but I'm more than willing to discuss the tournament winnings if you would be interested. And he says, I have to be honest, I've been looking for some gladiators in town, and I have to be honest, it's been pretty tough to find some competent, trustworthy gladiators within Waterdeep. He says most of them have been bought up already.
Or we've killed them.
That may be too. He kind of smiles and laughs and kind of chuckles. He says, would you guys like to know the competition rules before you guys agree to the gladiator sport?
That sounds like a good idea.
He kind of chuckles and says, no problem. So, 1 second, let me get this here. So he says, well, the good news is the prizes are quite substantial, and he says it kind of goes by how far you go into the games. And he says the rules are also pretty good as well. I thought I could share them, but I guess I can't. There we go. So you should all be able to see a copy there. So he pretty much goes over the rules, but essentially they can be lethal, but they don't have to, and gladiators can always surrender. To surrender, they have to drop their weapons, kneel, and hold their hands in the air. If you attack a surrendering foe, you're immediately disqualified and kicked out, and you'll likely be arrested for assault and murder. If a gladiator who surrenders and then attacks another one also is disqualified. Gladiators can fly or levitate up to a height of 40 feet. There's no burrowing, so you can't burrow down. Matches persist until one team is victorious, either by the death or surrender of all the opposing teams. They have no right to the spoils of the fallen, so everybody keeps their gear, so you don't lose your gear. And if you die,
if they're fallen, that means they die, right?
Correct,
the
exactly.
Fallen?
Yep, the fallen. So if they die, it goes back to the owner of the team or to the manager itself. Any tactic that endangers the spectators is disqualification and possible legal action, so fall under the Waterdeep rules. Disqualified gladiators must cease fighting at once, must move to the edge of the battlefield. That'll be a disqualification of the entire team, so one person can be disqualified out of the team, and the rest of the team can compete. If they don't, if he moves out of it, and then awards are given after each battle. Then he decides. Yeah, go ahead.
How big's the arena?
Yeah, so he says the arena is about 100 feet by 200 feet.
Big enough for a fireball, Corver.
Oh yeah. He says, and fireballs are very active there. He says there's lots of interesting things that kind of come through there. Celeste kind of laughs and she says, "Oh yes, you remember the year that they brought in the what were they called again? Oh, the big iron golems, and that team had all those iron golems that they fought with. Boy, that was a mess. Boy, oh boy." And so he says, "Oh yeah, there's typically about 24 teams, and it whittles down to one. It's a 5-day event." And he says everybody can kind of bring in their own teams. You're allowed to have anywhere between 4 and 8. If you have any companions that are medium or larger, they count as an actual gladiator. He says you can do summon spells, pretty much anything that you want. And he says that the first day, typically the way it works is they put you're paired up with 3 other teams, so there's 4 teams in the arena, 1 in each corner of the arena, and it's a free-for-all. So the last group standing is the group that wins for that week, and you get a bronze trophy and a cash payout of 2,000 gold. The second day is kind of a rest day. There's a lot of stuff that happens up in the arena, and you guys won't be involved in any of that. And then on the third day, you are teamed up 1 versus 1, and at that time, whoever wins that also gets another trophy and a cash payout of 5,000 gold. On the fourth day, we're down to pretty much the semifinals, and so one team fights against another team, and then there's always a special event where one team will fight against a special monster. And the nice thing about fighting the monster is that it's not as difficult as fighting the other group because it's only one creature. So usually that group sort of gets an advantage. A lot of times that's for the champion. So that's that, and that's payouts 10,000 for the people that win that round. And then the last one is mano a mano for the 2 sub-champions, and they get to wear the champion's belt for a year, the winner, and the cash payout is 20,000 gold. He said, so all in all, we're looking at making about 40,000 gold without selling any of the trophies. He said, so it's quite lucrative, and I would have to say that with us going in as a group, I think, I had to purchase the license. I'm not going to give up the license. You need a manager anyways. You can't manage your own team. And I think that we could really work together and get some things done here.
I got some marketing ideas. I'll pull out my Cormer statue. We should have a bobble.
He looks at it, he says, what a great idea. He says, I don't have enough time to craft these, but I think
you know what a t-shirt is?
I probably could make some limited edition items here. He says, I like that. Let me, so he kind of like sketches out your guys' pictures and whatnot. He says, do you guys have any familiars or pets or anything that I can add to this?
Showing him Chingo.
Oh, Chingo.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, he's
little dinosaur.
So he's drawn out a dinosaur, and he's like asking Razik. He's like, so do the talons go here, or what happens here? Huge dinosaur. Yeah, he's got a big dinosaur. It's a puffy though. It's a puffy. It's a stuffy. So it's actually real soft and cuddly. Most of the kids will love that huge dinosaur. This is going to be great. He's kind of like, he's all into it. Celeste kind of nudges him a little bit. She's like, can we focus here a little bit? He's like, oh yes, of course. Yeah, multiple points of articulation. Yeah, you get it all different positions. It even has a little area that opens in the back where you can stick one of the action figures inside so he can ride on top of them. So like a Bose he can put in there. But anyways, so he says, okay, so let's talk about pay. He says, I think that probably what we should do is split 50-50. I'll take the 50%. Your group can split the 50%.
Hell no, 50%?
It's only fair.
Because you have a freaking license? No.
Well, you can't get in without the license. If you want to
find another manager.
If you want to do a diplomacy check, you can maybe see if you can get him to reduce his share.
Maybe. All right, guys, let's work some negotiation stuff here.
You want some guidance and stuff on it?
Definitely.
I'll assist.
Alrighty.
All right, so I'll just throw a 2 after it for the guidance. Come on, baby, now's the time.
Alright, so I see a 20, is that right? And
Yep.
I have 2, 4, 6.
Yes.
6 total?
So
So
Kara with a little intimidation through the window.
I love it. So that's a 26, right? So he says, okay, all right. He says, I'll take 30, you guys take 70.
Pretty good deal.
So I sense that I can let me try a sense motive here, see if I
Sure.
have a feeling that he will negotiate it all
Alright.
further. Drop that in the tower.
You feel like you could get him to go a little bit more.
Alright. Anybody else got decent skill in diplomacy besides me? They had a
You're the highest, I think.
Cormier.
I'll help you out.
Alrighty.
A little bit.
It's like back to
sis.
50-50. Just kidding. Alright.
Skills, diplomacy. Alright, so there's my
There you go. Look at that. Even better. Not much assist from around though. So
not much assist.
he says, okay, all right. He's like, here's what we'll do. We'll split it evenly between 5. We'll all get 25%. Or 20%.
Wait a minute. Carl and Chingo have to go in there. You're gonna get a percentage of all of theirs.
What?
So there's 6 of us going in and you.
He kind of looks
So you
over.
get-
He looks over at Celeste.
1/7.
He says, if they can fight as well as they negotiate, I think we'll be just fine. He says, fine, deal.
Deal. We shake.
Alrighty,
Drop
so
the contract if he wants it.
yeah, so he brings out the contract. He puts each of your names, kind of gets your spelling. Chingo, he tries to get right. Carl, he's like, it's close. And so he says, so in 1 day you have to report for the dinner. You cannot be late for the dinner. It's at 6 o'clock. If you're late for the dinner, you're disqualified. Once you guys go to the dinner, he says it's a glorious feast. After that dinner, then you guys will go down to the Cenobi, which is an area underneath the arena, and you will stay there for the entire 5 days until you're disqualified. He said at that point, then you guys will be released. He says I can come down once a day in the evening and come down and check and see how you guys are doing. We can talk about your winnings. If you guys need anything from the outside world, I can bring that in for you to help you out. He says, but you can't leave. If you leave the Shinobi, then you guys are disqualified from the games.
Fair enough.
All right. So they kind of sit back and throw some drinks, and he's now back again sketching out these dinosaurs and whatnot, and working on this action figure.
Make sure that that's in the contract that he isn't going to try and
yeah, sure.
whatever. He gets the equal share on that for the sales.
No problem. So he puts it in the contract. He kind of scribbles it in there a little bit. And Celeste is kind of smiling and kind of joking around and whatnot, and says, all right. So the night goes by, and you guys kind of have some drinks, and they get up and sing some songs, and they talk about an area called the Cauldron, and something about a city that was under siege and shackled, and all these sort of random stories about bygone times for them. And you know, kind of listen to your guys' stories about whatever stories you guys want to talk about. And so that kind of all goes on there and whatnot. The night gets late, you guys go to bed. And you guys wake up in the morning, kind of get all your stuff together, sort of get ready for the events and whatnot. And Cormer, do you have another maybe 15 minutes? Would that be all right?
Yeah.
All right, good. It'll let us get rid of a lot of this kind of non-combat type stuff. So you guys kind of go over to the Triumph Arena, and you guys see as you're walking up, there's lots of people outside. There's flags that are flying. It's kind of just before sundown. People milling about around the area. You see, kind of a line of people, licensed managers, and a lot of gladiators, which you see a lot of things that you maybe not had expected. You see, people from faraway lands, from all the way from the Shining Marshes, all the way out to the east, from the Dale lands. You see people from Am and Thay. You also see creatures. There's gnolls there that are kind of working with other people. You see, sort of almost godlike creatures. Somebody brings in a couple golems that are kind of going around the back way. There's creatures that are going in and whatnot. And you guys kind of walk up to the guards. There's some guards there that are there, and you see a large guard presence kind of around the arena. And Elam walks up and hands his license over, and they kind of write down the name and whatnot. And they kind of look at your group and they say, congratulations, guys. Is this your first time in the games?
It is.
Yep.
Welcome. Have you guys gotten the rules? Do you know the rules?
Do you have a list with them on that we can review? Or
Yeah, so he hands you over a list that shows the same rules that Ikalim had given you. Pretty much saying that no fighting in the Shinobi. You need to be confined there, or Shinobi, I should say, not Kinobi. The rules about how to fight in the battles. States, not to be aggressive towards any of the guards or the bodyguards or any of the staff. Also takes away all the liability, right? So there's 6 pages of liability with disclaimers there, and just kind of goes through everything and says, guys have any questions? Oh, and he says, by the way, and he kind of looks around. He says, you guys are able to wager on each other if you want, even yourself. So tonight, you guys are new here, so if you want to kind of do some negotiating or bartering or trying to get some wagers on other teams, if you want to eye them out, he's like, tonight's the night to do it, and our bookies will help you guys with that. So he says, go ahead, go on in, go ahead and grab one of the tables that's inside. So
all right.
You guys kind of walk in to the area, and you walk into this large essential coliseum is what it is. You look around the stands. It looks like it's seat probably about most of Waterdeep. Elite, probably anywhere between 100 to 200,000 probably in the stands. So they're huge stands. The grounds are very well decorated. In the north end, there's 2 great bonfires that are burning at the north, right by a seating area that's up in the kind of like the king's seating area, or up on the top, and you see scores of cooks and waiters and whatnot moving around on the spits and grills. Multiple tables are kind of arranged all throughout the area. There's flowers and ribbons. You see a lot of the other gladiators are sitting at tables, and intermixed and intermingled throughout all of this is nobles, actually, people dressed in full noble regalia, kind of meandering around and talking and kind of smoozing with a lot of the gladiators and managers and whatnot. So you guys go ahead and sit down, and have continues to fill and whatnot. And just before about 6 o'clock at night, you see kind of this group kind of walk in. There's 6 large bodyguards that are draped in purple regalia. 2 gentlemen walking side by side to a very tall and sort of grizzled type of man. And Elcom kind of nods you and says to you guys, that's Rakin over there. That's Rakian. That's the guy that runs this place. That's his captain of the guard. Sitting next to him on the left, his name is Okerol, and the other guy is Talabir. He's the announcer for the games. And so as he walks in the area, the gladiators all stand and they greet kind of with thunderous applause, and they're yelling and kind of hooting and hollering, and Rakin's smiling and shaking his hands, and kind of seems real happy. And Elkelman says, he used to be a gladiator here and was a champion for 6 years before he took over the thing. He's very well respected here, and everybody kind of really looks up to him.
Wow.
So
they all scarred up and looking pretty awesome.
Yeah. So he kind of walks and kind of waves to everybody, and there's a big table kind of at the center bonfire and up on a stage, and he kind of sits up there. And as you guys look up, you guys see that at the table with him is Auric, the gentleman that you guys had seen on the poster, as well as Kellic, but you don't see Tira. You don't see her up there at all. So it's just those two. And when Rakin kind of stands up and says, hey, this is our previous champion, Auric. Again, more applause, and everybody kind of goes crazy and, kind of goes nuts and kind of gets really excited. And then after the crowd kind of calms down, Talabir sort of gets up and gives the rules, kind of essentially what we had talked about already. So the rules that kind of go through, I won't go through them again. And then he goes through, the duration and talks about how the rules are and whatnot. And Reckon finally, Dolores Rankinen finally gets up to the stage and says to the gladiators, and he kind of looks at all of you, and he says, you all have, been blessed to come in, and we're so thankful you're here, and it's great to have you gladiators here. And kind of puts his hands out, and he's like, you all will be called champions of Waterdeep for the duration of the games. And everybody kind of claps and applause, and Elkin says this is kind of the signal for the dinner to start. And so the dinner starts, and the bards come out and take the stage and perform, and food's brought out and drink and whatnot. And as you guys are eating, all of a sudden you kind of start to see the other noble people kind of walking around and kind of talking about some things. So you guys are kind of eating dinner, and there's a very noble type man coming over, and woman kind of fully dressed, and kind of looks and says, "Oh dear, these must be the new team. What is your team name by the chance?"
Oracle Motion.
What is it? Oracle Motion? That's awesome. Go ahead and put it in chat. Whatever you want your team name to be, go ahead and put it in chat. If you guys didn't have a chance to decide yet.
What should we be? The order of the green worms? Order of the worm slayers?
Sure. Is that what you guys want?
Order of worms demise.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are Order of the Worm's Demise. So you guys kind of say that's your name, and we need a designated leader.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, everybody roll 20-sided dice. Whoever rolls highest is
That's a fair way to do it. I like that.
Oh, I see someone rolling a D12.
That's awesome.
What's that?
He rolled a 12.
We saw that.
The one next to it.
No.
One next to it. And then Razik, if you can too.
Oh, we got a tie roll.
Alrighty.
Razik and I.
Bose and Razik.
Roll off.
Another
Oh!
Razik. Oh, Carl's the leader.
Oh, Carl. We all worship the little Carl.
You're not smart enough to lead us.
Who rolled a 20? I saw a 20 pop up there.
I did see a 20.
Whose was that?
What?
Was that yours, Razik? I didn't record. Razik, can you roll? Oh, you did Carl's. Okay, gotcha. Was Carl's yours? So that's Razik's. He was clicked on the other guy.
Okay.
All right,
Razik,
so
you're the man.
I saw 20 pop on there. It was your die, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't me.
I don't know whose die that
I thought
was.
it was both.
Bo's rolled a
It
14.
may have flickered, but dropped to a 14.
Yeah, maybe. So, all right. So Razik, how appropriate. The dinosaur, who nobody knows is a dinosaur yet. So he'll be the leader. All righty. So, anyways, they kind of talk to you and whatnot, and they're kind of talking about your guys' skills. You guys want to tell them anything about your skills at all?
Just that
I like figurines.
a melee guy archer, caster, and two warriors, a warrior, a healer, a caster, and a archer.
So these are people that are essentially what happens is, and Elcom told you this, is the nobles kind of walk around the groups and try to decide who they're going to bet on, and they talk to the groups to get a good grip on, kind of like vetting you to see, what it's worth. And you guys all have ranks.
Ooh, can we take a look at what our ranks are and
You
try
can
and manipulate the deal by saying how and pathetically prepared we are?
You can do both of those. So you can. Your rank is currently 3. It's on a scale of 1 to 9. 9 is the maximum. The way that it works is if you're a rank of 1, if you bet 1 gold piece on you and you win, you make 10. So it's 1 to 10 odds or 10 to 1 odds. So, and then it goes for rank 2 is 1 to 5, and then 1 to 3, and then 1 to 2, and then 1 to 1, and then that's at 5. And then it obviously goes the other way. So if you're, you put on a rank 6, you bet 2 gold piece, you get paid 1 in return. Does that make sense? 1 additional, so you get 3 total. And so that's kind of the way that it works. And you guys are currently ranked 3. So if you bet 1 gold piece on yourself, it would pay 3 gold piece, so you'd get 4 in return. Is that right? Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's see if we can
right,
whatever our way down to a lower position.
Yeah,
I'm gonna walk around with my Cormerdell, petting it.
All right, sounds good. You gotta hawk it though. If you're gonna try to sell it, you gotta hawk it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna walk around petting it.
Oh, nice. All right, so it's gonna be a bluff check, and the way it's gonna work is that you can. Let's see, you can make a bluff check. You can pick one person. Whoever has the highest bluff bonus, I don't know who that is the one who can do the bluff check, and you can all assist. And there's a DC.
Bows, I think.
Cormier with 11.
Yeah, I've got 11.
Oh, yeah, all right, okay.
And then during the battle, the way it's going to work is that every battle you win, it increases your rank by 1. And every time you score a critical hit, there's a 25% chance your team rank will increase by 1.
Okay, so there isn't any way right now to lower our standing.
Except for bluff. You can do a bluff during the dinner. And you
Looking
can
like an idiot.
increase it or decrease it by 1 rank only. So you can either become a 2 or a 4.
We want to increase our odds and then find someone that's willing to take the largest bet we can.
So, all right, sounds good. And then, the way it works is that if you don't get the bluff check for the rank 2, and it's lower than the bluff check to stay at rank 3, you immediately get bumped up to rank 4. Does that make sense? So if you don't make the checks for rank 2, you will stay at rank 3. If you don't make the check for getting rank 3, you'll actually get bumped up to rank 4 because you didn't bluff well.
Hell of a deal.
Hell of a deal.
We'll take the risk.
Alrighty, sounds good. So let's go ahead and do the assist first, and then whoever has the highest bluff will do the roll last. Oh! All right. Good.
Hey, I like my Cormerdell.
Yeah, I guess so. Look at these rolls. All right. Nice. 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 Not. Got those social skills going. All right. Here we go. Oh! So you guys sound like the biggest buffoons they have ever seen. And since you rolled a natural 20 and there was another natural 20, I'll let you guys go to rank 1. So you guys are rank 1. So you guys will be able to be 1 gold for every 10 gold. If you want to place wagers around, you can bet all your money if you want to. I will let you bet it all. If you give me a diplomacy check to find the high rollers.
Is it for one fight or is it for the whole thing?
So this is for each fight. So what'll happen and you have to unfortunately do these bets now. So if you get disqualified, obviously the bet money is lost, right? But if you win the battle for each of the battles, then you can get paid for each of those. But you have to put certain bets on each one, and you don't know who you're going to be teamed up against yet. So it's tough to say. But I assume you guys think you're going to win the whole thing.
We can only try.
So there will be 4 battles that you would be betting on. The first one is free for all, 1 out of 4, right? And then the second one is 1 versus 1. And then the third one is either 1 versus 1 or 1 versus a monster. And then the fourth one is the big fight at the end. And your rank will dictate kind of your pay for each one. Actually, let's do it differently. For each battle, you can bet, and then depending on where your rank is at the next day, you can rebet through your manager to get money. How's that sound? That'll be easier, because otherwise I'm not going to have a way to keep track.
All right. Well, I can do with my performance. I can use
I was just gonna
my
ask
perform
about that.
oratory
Okay.
in lieu of my diplomacy.
Okay.
So I have a plus 16 in that.
Excellent. Sounds good.
So if you guys want to assist, we can see if we can find the high rollers around this joint.
So you can do diplomacy for assists. Yep. 1, 2, and 3. So you got plus 6, plus
Come
your
on,
16.
baby. All right.
So you need a 3 or higher.
oratory.
3 or higher.
Oh, wow.
Holy smokes! Wow. All right. So you are able to find the high rollers, and they will accept bets up to almost as much as you want to bet. So as you guys
I
are
don't know how tough this shit is.
kind of looking into that, so I have you guys at rank 1. So I'm going to fix the list here. All right, and as you're kind of doing that, you guys see another very tall elven female dressed in full noble regalia, and just gorgeous, kind of walking over to you. And she kind of taps Bose on the shoulder as he's kind of doing his story. And she says, "Boy, oh boy." She says, "I thought that was you." As you turn around, you recognize that it is Tira, the elven female from Daggerford.
Hubba hubba.